Hello everybody. So we're going to look at the barbell skull crusher today. And the barbell skull crusher is going to be primarily working the tricep here, okay? So the muscle is involved in the extension of your arm, okay? So that's the muscle lengthened, nice big stretch, and we are contracting and squeezing that muscle. And that's, under load, that's how we're going to get that muscle to grow. So with a barbell skull crusher, we're going to sit much further down the bench. Of course, you could do this with an EZ bar. You can do it with dumbbells. There's many things you can do it with. I prefer to do it with the rack here, just for ease when it comes to the setup, as you'll see in a second. So sitting quite far down the bench. Obviously, with a normal bench press, you would have your mouth area onto the bar. Here, I'm going to be sitting forehead just slightly in front of the bar. Because if I have my head behind the J hooks, it's going to clip every time I press. Next thing you're going to do is position your arms in like so. We don't want them out here. So elbows in together, and you want your forearms kind of like parallel with one another. That sometimes, for me, that's not the most comfortable position, but it's where I need to be. You're then going to place the hands on the bar. I like to do a suicide grip for this personally. It's just easier on my wrist. And I find it helpful at getting that elbows in tight. I can remove the thumbs in there, not getting in the way. Take the bar out of the rack. Now, the bar is directly over my forehead. And I'm slowly going to bring it down, keeping the elbows in. And I'm going to bring it right down to my forehead. And I can feel that stretch on my triceps. And we're going to press. Nice click from my elbows there. So that's one way of doing that. Okay? I quite like it to the forehead. It's a good marker for depth. A little tap on the forehead and through. We can go further into this. We can come right down on rack and we can go behind the head and get a big stretch and kind of keep that more vertical position on the forearms. That's another way of training it. But you see, I find this happens quite a lot. See that movement on the elbow? You end up bringing the lats and using momentum to get into this. So I much prefer to keep it simple. I like here, down the forehead, and press. Down the forehead and press. Of course, feel free to angle further back and come down below the head. But if you're going to do that, watch out for momentum and swing. You want to keep the elbow in the one position and pivot on the joint. And that's going to leave it that it's a true tricep movement rather than a swing and a big pull from the lat and through, okay? Because that ultimately will remove the stress. My back's sore, that the triceps feeling. And that's the barbell skull crusher.